Welcome to step 2 of Make a Print Book, and this video InDesign Basics. There are 5 aims here: 1 to open a new file, 2 to insert some text, 3 to insert an image, 4 to insert a coloured shape, and the 5th is to arrange some text, image and a shape together. You'll soon see why we did images first in this series. So all 3 key elements needed to make a print book, that is text, images and coloured shapes, can be brought together smoothly. InDesign is the industry standard publishing software. Its rival is Quark Express. Both cost a bit, so you might consider downloading the free 30-day trial of InDesign from Adobe.com, or you might get Scribus, depending on whether you say tomato or tomato, which is a free download that you can easily Google. If you don't see an InDesign icon on your computer, then like we did in step 1, go down to the Start button, have a look at all programs. Don't look for I for InDesign, have a look for the A for Adobe Design Standard folder. If you're using Macs, then have a look at the application folder. And there it is, InDesign version CS6. Let's start by creating a new document by clicking here, and this dialog box opens. Let's go to the first field in blue, number of pages, and click on 4. That's the number of pages we're going to use for this exercise. And facing pages, so the pages will open like a book. The intent is to print. Don't worry about primary text frame. Now, page size, see how the width is 210 millimeters. If you prefer to work in inches, we'll learn how to change the units in a later video. If you have some odd looking units that include a P, they're called picas, and we can fix them later. You don't need to worry about that now. Just select the standard size A5, orientation portrait, so it's upright. 1 column of text and margins, 12.7 millimeters all round, or about ½ inch. When you're ready, click OK. And there we have it, a document on the page, or it just appears to be one page. To see the number of pages there, the 4 that we selected, go up to the menu that says Window, click on Window, go down to Pages, click on Pages, and then this box over here opens up. I'm going to click on the top grey bar, and you can see how I can move it around. If it's a bit too big, I can make it smaller. Just down the bottom right corner here, I've grabbed it and I'm going to move it up a bit. So there are the 4 pages. The page itself is resting on a white space that's called the pasteboard, and you can actually leave bits and pieces on the pasteboard and put them into the document when you need them. They won't print it there on the pasteboard. This is a big difference between InDesign and Microsoft Word. Over here on the left, I'm just going to grab the top here and move it around. This is the toolbox. And to insert some text, go down to the T on the toolbox, click it. Now I'm going to insert a text box by clicking and dragging inside this margin. I don't have to stick inside the margin, but I am going to. Nothing much appears to have happened except up in the top left, the cursor is flashing. Type in some text. Now I'm just putting something really imaginative like the first heading. Highlight it like you would in Word. Then go up here to the sizes and perhaps choose 18 point just to make it a bit bigger, and over here on the just to the right of the middle, choose center alignment. Now if you want to make it bold, you don't do what you do in Word, which is make it a style. You actually choose a font. So here you've got a lot more choices with Minion Pro, that's the name of the typeface, and the font I'm going to use is semi-bold. All right, so there you go, how to actually put in text. In Word you just start typing. In InDesign you put in a text box, then you start typing. Can you copy and paste text in? Yes, you can. So let's just put a couple of paragraph marks in there. I hit enter twice, or you can do return twice on the Mac. I'll go and get some text from a Word file. Here we are, I've got one ready. Just click, highlight, and copy, minimize it. Go back in here. You could do Control V to paste, or go Edit, Paste, Command V if you're using Mac. And there it is, the text is in there. Now it's using the same attributes that we just had, and if you don't want them, then highlight them and make them smaller. You can click down this time, perhaps to 14 point, maybe left align it over here. There we go. And maybe even smaller if you want it. And I don't want to keep it at semi-bold. I'll make it regular. So I'm going to actually have to choose the font, not the style. So there we go. Now, if you've got a whole novel, you're not going to copy and paste it through. I'll show you that trick, auto flow, later. Let's move on to page 2 by going to the Pages window and double clicking on page 2, and there we have it. Now to insert an image, which is the goal of page 2, let's go back to the toolbox and click on this particular image. This is the rectangle frame tool. There are other shapes of tools there that might be showing, but we want the rectangle frame tool, so we can just click and drag to create a text box. I've gone just inside the margin there. You don't have to do that all the time. We'll vary that in a minute. But for now, File and Place is the way to actually import an image. There I've got the Bondi lifeguard image that we did in step 1, CMYK for print, so I'm going to click open. There it is. You can see that it's not actually all the image. So we're going to have to fit this. Now there are 3 different ways to do this. I'm going to show you a way of doing it using the white arrow. The white arrow is just underneath the black arrow. It is officially known as the direct selection tool. Now when I click on the image, watch what happens. Oh, can you see this brown box for the activation nodes? Here we are. Now watch what happens if I hold down Shift while I'm doing this. I want to keep it in proportion. Oh, okay, well, a bit's missing. See the hand that's just appeared? I'm going to click and drag and move it up. Right, now you can start to see how I'm fitting it to the frame. I want it to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to hold down Shift again and click and drag just to keep it in proportion till I get to the bottom of that page. Now you've learned a few tricks there. You can actually do it a number of ways. If you go up on the top menu up here, you can actually do fit content proportionally. This will change slightly. And the same way to do fit content proportionally is to right click on the image, go down to fitting, and then fit content proportionally. This won't change what we've done here, but it's another way of doing it. If you are using a single button Mac mouse, then hold down Control when you click on the image to get the same thing as the right click. So there we've fitted an image to the page. Now we're going to move on to page 3 for the coloured shape. So double click on page 3 in the Pages window. This time we're going to go to this box just under the picture box, and if you hold this down you can see there are all sorts of shapes there. This is called a rectangle tool. This time we're going to do the whole page, not stick inside the margin where the text is. I see I'm going right to the centre there, clicking and dragging all the way across and stopping. And I've just created, well, it doesn't look as though I've done anything, but you might be able to make out the little activation nodes there. Now I'm going to colour it. I'm going to go to Window, and funnily enough I'm going to use Colour. Click on that. And there it is. Now you see I'm going to move this around. I'm going to click and drag on that grey bit. I'm going to move it down to here so it's not overlapping. I'm going to click on swatches. They're easy, simplified colours, and if I click on light blue, there you can see it filled up with light blue. That's because if you look where I'm pointing now, that is the fill option, and just below it is the stroke option. If your shape didn't fill up with colour, then you may have the stroke option connected. Stroke could be called the border of the box. Now if you want to change colour, just change it like that. I might make it yellow for the hell of it. So we've inserted a colour shape. The last thing on page 4, I'm going to double click on page 4. And here we're going to bring all the elements together. First I'll start with a text box. I'm going to click on T, click and drag, and I'll just put a box in there and type in "this is some text," something really imaginative like that. I'm just going to leave that, keeping it simple. Now I'm going to go to the picture box, click on that, click and drag to make a picture box. It can be any size. Now File and Place again. I'm going to bring in that image once again. Now this time I will right click on it and fit content proportionally. Okay, so there it is. Now the final thing I'm going to do in this is put in a coloured shape. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool again. Now I'm going to click and drag across them both, and I'm going to fill it with colour. This time let's say green, and there it is. Whoa, okay. Now the image and the text is gone. So how do we fix that? Go up here to Object and Arrange. Choose Send Backward. Okay, so the image is showing, but we still haven't got the text. So we'll go again to Object and Arrange, and what I'm saying is send that last block of colour right to the back. Now we can see the text. That's it for the moment. Let's save it. So File and Save. Let's call it InDesign Basics. Oh, I've got to spell it right. And notice it's in the InDesign CS6 format. Click Save, and it's done. Let's just click through the 4 pages we've done. There's page 1. I'm double clicking on it to show the text, double clicking on page 2 for the image, double clicking on page 3 for the color, and page 4 for all 3 elements together. If you want to close the file, click up here on the little X, and we're back to where we were at the start. Thank you for watching, and please remember to comment or click like if you found this video helpful. If you'd like to see more videos in this series, then why not click to subscribe.